I saw you. Were you at the UN yesterday?
No, I flew in yesterday night.
Oh, okay.
In the election. The Greek Prime Minister Kyriakos Mητσοτάκης is here, ahead of his trip to the US. The Prime Minister stressed the importance.
Turkish president in a couple of hours on the sidelines of the United States.
Well, when are you coming?
Next year I'm going to try and do a Greek tour of the...
Okay. But literally, if you can't come in June or September.
It's thank you, Prime
Much more
Minister.
pleasant. Thank you very much, Richard.
Enjoy.
Good to see you.
Thank you, everyone. Bye.
Yes, can I help you?
Yes.
Είχαμε μια παραγωγική συζήτηση με τον πρόεδρο Ερντογάν, παρουσία των Υπουργών Εξωτερικών και των διπλωματικών μας συμβούλων. Συμφωνήσαμε να συνεχίσουμε να εργαζόμαστε ώστε να εμβαθύνουμε το θετικό κλίμα στις ελληνοτουρκικές σχέσεις, το οποίο έχει εγκαθιδρυθεί τους τελευταίους μήνες, και προσδιορίσαμε με σαφήνεια το επίπεδο των επαφών και των συναντήσεων για το επόμενο διάστημα σε επίπεδο πολιτικού διαλόγου, μέτρων οικοδόμησης εμπιστοσύνης, αλλά και προώθησης της θετικής ατζέντας. Συμφωνήσαμε επίσης το επόμενο Ανώτατο Συμβούλιο Συνεργασίας να διεξαχθεί στις 7 Δεκεμβρίου στην Θεσσαλονίκη. Ταυτόχρονα είχαμε την ευκαιρία να συζητήσουμε και για μια σειρά από κοινές προκλήσεις που αντιμετωπίζουν οι δύο χώρες μας. Να σταθώ ενδεικτικά στο πρόβλημα της παράνομης μετανάστευσης, όπου πιστεύω ότι είναι απαραίτητη η συνεργασία της Τουρκίας προκειμένου να μειωθούν στο ελάχιστο οι μεταναστευτικές ροές. Αλλά φυσικά συζητήσαμε και τα ζητήματα της μεγάλης προκλήσης της κλιματικής κρίσης, καθώς Ελλάδα και Τουρκία είναι δύο μεσογειακές χώρες, οι οποίες και αυτό το καλοκαίρι βρέθηκαν αντιμέτωπες με σημαντικές φυσικές καταστροφές, προϊόν της υπερθέρμανσης του πλανήτη και της κλιματικής κρίσης, η οποία είναι ήδη εδώ πέρα μαζί μας, και πιστεύω ότι και αυτό το πεδίο συνεργασίας μπορεί να διερευνηθεί περισσότερο, έτσι ώστε να τύχει αντικείμενο και κάποιων συγκεκριμένων συμφωνιών, οι οποίες θα υπογραφούν στα πλαίσια του Ανώτατου Συμβουλίου Συνεργασίας το Δεκέμβριο στη Θεσσαλονίκη.
How are you, sir? How are you? Please. Να σας βρει καλησπέρα. Κάνετε. Γεια σας. Ελάτε.
We are about to full.
Thank you very much, Mike, and thank you all for taking the time to be with us today. I wish I could have been with you on what I understand was a very important event on Monday, but unfortunately I had to stay in Greece to make sure that I coordinated our response to the catastrophic floods, and thank you all for offering your eminence, your prayers and your support for what was indeed a sort of a destruction that was quite extraordinary in terms of its scale and its impact on Thessaly. But the country is resilient, the economy is doing rather well, and we will recover from this natural disaster with some help from our European friends, but also from Greeks, from within Greece, but also from abroad. We will make sure that we don't just build back what was destroyed by the water, but make sure that we build it back better, because what we experienced this summer was the reality of the climate crisis impacting all of us, and it is our obligation to make sure that we come up with a resilient response to what will be events which will take place with a greater frequency. That is a fact, and we need to respond to that. So I'm here only for a couple of days, but I wanted to take the time to meet you all, to thank the 17 organizations for being with us here today, to hear your thoughts, to respond to your questions, and share with you some very, very brief remarks regarding the state of the country today and the direction we want to take the country over the next 4 years. As you know, we were re-elected in the double election of May and June, with a very strong majority. It's very difficult these days to actually raise your share of the vote. You know that all incumbents are having a very difficult time, making the case to their electorates. But we succeeded in doing that, and now we have a very strong mandate to push forward at an even faster pace than we did over the past 4 years. And I had an opportunity last weekend in Thessaloniki to lay out my reform agenda for the next year. Focus a lot on issues related to the economy. Make sure that I communicate with absolute certainty my commitment to fiscal prudence and fiscal stability, but also take an opportunity to celebrate what was a very important event and which unfortunately got lost in the maelstrom of all the natural disasters that we had to deal with, and that is none other than the decision to upgrade our economy to investment-grade status, which is something that we have been working towards for at least 4 years. I had made the commitment before the campaign that we would get to investment-grade within 3 months, and we did manage to deliver. It's probably the last step. The last step in this long and arduous process to leave behind us a very painful decade. And indeed, the economy is doing extremely well. We're growing much faster than the rest of the Eurozone. Not only will there be no recession in Greece, but we expect to grow by more than 2% this year. We continue to attract significant foreign investment, and we're constantly strengthening the Greek brand across various sectors and making sure that Greece is punching above its weight, whether it comes to issues related to the European Union or whether it comes to our broader region. And indeed, it is this financial strength that gives us the confidence to also approach our geopolitical challenges with the necessary endurance and confidence that is required for these types of tasks. I had an opportunity to meet President Erdogan right before I came to see you all. We had a productive meeting. I think there's a general understanding that we want to build upon the positive agenda of the past months. I have no doubt that we still have difficult challenges ahead of us, and I'm not naive when it comes to important foreign policy challenges. But I do want to recognize the fact that we've had a period of calm waters with Turkey over the past months, and that it would be good if we could preserve this positive momentum, even if that means continuing to disagree on important issues such as our the delimitation of our territorial waters or Cyprus. And I want to reiterate here my firm commitment to a solution to the Cyprus problem that will fully respect the decisions of the United Nations Security Council for Greece. Any solution outside these parameters, any notion or any discussion about a two-state solution is simply not acceptable, and this is something that I had the opportunity to communicate again today to President Erdogan. And of course, let me also point out, to conclude, because I want to take more time to answer your questions, by reminding you that the first piece of legislation passed by the new parliament has to do with you. We made good to our commitment to remove all obstacles to allow all Greeks living abroad to vote from their permanent place of residence. Αν είστε εγγεγραμμένοι στους εκλογικούς καταλόγους, μπορείτε να ψηφίζετε από εδώ ή από όπου και αν βρίσκεστε στις επόμενες εκλογές. Οι επόμενες εκλογές είναι οι ευρωεκλογές και αυτή νομίζω ότι είναι μια πολύ σημαντική επιτυχία, είναι μια εθνική επιτυχία. Καταφέραμε και αφαιρέσαμε όλα τα εμπόδια τα οποία είχε ο προηγούμενος νόμος και νομίζω ότι με αυτόν τον τρόπο θα υπάρχει μια πολύ πιο ενεργή συμμετοχή των Ελλήνων του εξωτερικού, της ομογένειας των ΗΠΑ στα κοινά της πατρίδας μας. Μόνο καλό θα κάνει αυτή η πιο μεγάλη, η πιο συστηματική συμμετοχή στα κοινά και χαίρομαι ιδιαίτερα που καταφέραμε και πείσαμε και τα άλλα κόμματα ότι πρέπει να κινηθούμε σε αυτή την κατεύθυνση. So, let me thank you again all for being here and let me reiterate to you my optimism about the direction of the country. We worked, very hard over the past 4 years to convince both Greeks, but also Greeks abroad, that Greece can change, that we can become a modern European country while preserving our unique Hellenic heritage, and that we will leave the years of the crisis behind us for good. We have many good years ahead of us. In spite of the many crises that we have to deal with, it seems that all leaders today have to be in a constant crisis management mode, but this does not mean that we will not remain laser focused on the important changes that we need to deliver for the country. And I'm sure that in 4 years from now, Greece will be a much better country than it is today. So thank you again all for being here.